Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and a hour and a half of me working in the spray booth. I got a new mic, and I wanted to see if the noise canceling would take away the fan that was in the spray booth. So I hooked up the camera, hooked up the mic, and talked my way through spraying the 37 Chevy. Came out pretty decent. I mean, you could hear and everything. So I want to put this out to you guys and check it out. If there's anything that you like in there, remember, this is all gallery equipment. So if you see anything you like, you want to get it, don't forget, use Grandpa Mark in the coupon code and you'll get 10% off of everything you get. Uh, so there we go. If you like what you see, give me a like, a subscribe, and we'll keep this channel going. But this is just raw footage. I'm not editing it or anything. So bear with me. The next one will be a whole lot better than this. But I did cover a lot while I was doing it. So let's start the video. There we go. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, that's going to be good. That's all I want. This is flat. Like I said, I don't even want to waste the spoon on this. We're just doing the headers. This should go real quick here. Get all the dog fur off at first. I can zoom you in, I think. I can try to zoom in. Right? Not a whole lot of change. But it will flatten them out. It's almost hard to see what I painted. And I only got 2 of these. And then we're going to clear it out. We're going to go with the semi-gloss black. And this is going to be representing like a VHT white, which I think is going to look really, really good on this. I want to look at the other ones real quick. I might have missed some. That's going to be perfect. All that for that little bit. Hope everybody's having a good day. I sure am. I'll max that out. Get the rest of that paint out of that air compressor. I'm using a Serene Air, like I always do. Just one heck of a nice air compressor. Easy. Let's put it that way. It does the job very well. And it's very easy to use, as you can see. Especially for little stuff like this. Now, I'll be honest, when I get into some of the bigger, um, bigger jobs, like let's split this, um, Hydro Mist, I will use the bigger air compressor just because it makes me feel better. How about if we go low here? I don't need to blow that all over town. Kind of like watching one of those sci-fi movies where the electricity goes up in between the two probes. Now I'll go back up to high. Pull this in. This is what I'm using today, just like I always do, just blow it right in there until it's empty, go back and forth, clear this out. We're going to switch to semi-gloss black. Well, you know what? I'll probably clean this all the way out, and I might use this for the red today, too. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. So we want to make sure this is good and clean, so we're not mixing pink. See how cool this is? I'm going to pull this back. I don't know if you'll be able to see that vapor coming out of there where it's pushing this down through. I'm going to do this one more time since we're changing colors. Put it in there, and I'm going to give it a swirly up front too. And then bubble it out. And then we're going to clean the snot out of it because, like I said, I don't want pink. So only takes a minute to tear this thing completely down to switch colors and go into a new color. And I think this will be a good choice of size for what I have to do with the red. And I do this like this all the time. It only takes a few minutes to strip it down to its components. So why not ensure yourself that everything is crispy clean. This is one heck of a nice airbrush. Not only is it sprays really, really, really well, but it tears down for cleanup. Super simple. Grab a Q-tip here. And in 5 minutes, I can have this thing torn down, cleaned, and put back together again. And back into the fun. Especially with this much room. And I'm doing this because I really, really don't want any of that white mixing with that red and changing that red. Because that'd look, I don't want a pink interior. Ouch. Let's just stab myself. See how clean that is already? Will do. I'm just going to push some through here and flush this out real well. That's clean as a whistle right now. I would almost put that away at the end of the day. Build this back up. And I keep saying that these Mobiuses that Gallery made are made for my hands. They fit so well. Big components, easy to work, especially at the price point they have for these things is outstanding. I like that having openings where I can see the hole in the bottom too, so I can get that lined up a lot easier. This ready for the next color, which is going to be red. So let's get this a lot more organized. I didn't spray this at all. We're going to use that for our red. Again, this was already mixed, but yeah, this is thin enough. I don't need to be messing around with it. So we're just going to spray right out of the bottle here too. This is thinned out. I don't know what I've sprayed with it. I don't remember spraying red, but I must have. Yeah. All right, red, take one. Real light coat. Try to cover half and half. This is just a tack coat. Get everything to stick. I'll dry that out a little bit. It's a little chilly in the shop this morning. Slow that down too. I would say that is perfect. I'll take that all day long. So let's make an engine. Again, same thing. I'll go very light on the first coat. Turn that back up. I liked how that did that. Really a lot of air on a little paint. To to give that nice sweet cover coat. Let's do the pressure plate, or the transmission plate in red too. I can always change my mind later and come back. I'm spraying at 21 psi. Which sprays very nice for me. And the way I mix my paint. Yours might have to adjust up and down to get it to spray the way you want it. But it seems to me like when I first turn this thing on, the pressure that it comes on to, which is this 21, is just right for how I mix my paint. One engine done. Yeah, I think I want the bell housing out there to be red too, and just the transmission this time. Now the seats, this is all going to be black, and that's going to be red. So, want to up that again. I'm not going to go all the way up. I think we're only going to go 25. See how that does. Yeah. And no, the reason why you can see why I like using this 0.2 is the control that I have with it. We'll let that sit for a minute. We'll go through and we'll do everything with high pressure, low paint. Life is so easy with these things, man. It sure has been a change for me since I've started using gallery airbrushes. It really has. And I've used some pretty dang decent airbrushes before, and had good results. But for just all around being able to say, man, this is the best I've ever used, by far gallery hits that mark. And I'm not just saying that because they've helped out the channel, because trust me, you guys mean more to me than somebody helping out the channel. And if it wasn't the truth and I didn't like them, I wouldn't use them. And I sure wouldn't advise anybody else to use them. But I do like these. And I'm telling you, their customer service is awesome. And if you don't believe me on that, go over to Bruce's page, and I'll put a link in the description for Bruce's page. But go over there, because he had one mess up on him, check out how they took care of him. Um, he expected to be helped, but he didn't expect it to go above and beyond like they did. And I think that top part that I just painted, I wanted to leave black. I'm going to brush paint the black in here anyhow. And that'll cover all this overspray that I just painted on there again. How about if I do this in red too? That'll look pretty cool in there red. Should do the petals in red too. But look at the control. There's a lot of overspray, but I got this thing set on as much paint as it'll possibly push. So I expect overspray, and I don't care because I'm trying to do something that is completely different than trying to be neat. We're gonna come back to the seats, change the pressure back down to 21. Which again, when you turn the Serene Air on, it's shooting 21. So that makes life a lot easier. That's probably why I got used to using that pressure. It's because it's the one that it gives you right off the rip. Shoot, I can be lazy. I'll tell you that right now. If it works, why change it? The surrounding parts, like I said, on the seat are going to be black. And look, we've hardly touched any of that paint with all this. I love doing this. This is so therapeutic. And you know what? Like I said again, and since I'm airbrushing and I'm talking about airbrushing, I'm going to keep saying it, but it sure does make a difference when you got a good airbrush to work with. And again, trust me, I've used some junk, and I was able to make it work. I mean, it did what it had to do, but dang it, that's, I think, just makes me really appreciate what I got here even more. Ta-da! I do need a little bit more. I short shotted myself. Now, let's show you what this 0.2 will do. Check mine. Look at the cut line on there. You can cut a line with this bad boy. Now going in here, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to find the best angle, bring it in there, and put some paint down on those edges. And I wouldn't do this if I wasn't painting black. Anyhow. And now I'm not gonna go across the top again. I'm gonna paint what's gonna be red. Just cut a line, I guess. But see, this 0.2 will put down some paint too. How about that? There, how about if I'm in the center? But my camera is over here, off center from my phone. So it always seems like I'm shooting one side or the other, depending on where the camera's sitting in the mount. And I just got to get used to that. If I didn't have 4 cups of coffee today, that line would have been a lot sharper too. I do like this 0.2 millimeter. I say that. I like all of them. That's going to look cool, man, with the black. I like all of their paint brushes. The that siphon feed I used the other day, I had a whole bunch of clear coating to do. I'm looking, here we go. So I used my siphon feed with a bottle full of Quick Shine, and that worked with the Serene Air. If you're not sure, I can tell you right now that the siphon feed works perfect for spraying my Quick Shine on everything. It did a great job. It's going to be my Quick Shine finish sprayer for now on. And the reason is because I can get a bunch of these bottles. I can put Quick Shine in this bottle and spray all dang day. So I didn't have to stop and fill and blah, blah, blah. I was able to just go to town, get the job done, and get out, which in the end of the day is what we want anyhow, right? So, ugh. And I'm half thinking of just putting this video out and call it Ramblings While I Airbrush. Now look at how nice that sprayed. I wasn't trying to get a super gloss finish. I was just hitting it just to go over it and make sure that the airbrush was working right. And I still get a great finish on red that I didn't mix. I just kind of pulled out the bottle, went to town. And now we're going to use the 0.3 or the 0.3 millimeter Mobius to do the semi-gloss black. But I do want to get, I'll be right back. I'm going across the shop. I want to get a new paper towel. And I'm out of clean Q-tips too over here. Now what I usually do is I'll take these wet ones and I'm going to set them on top of my tote just to let them dry. I don't feel comfortable putting a wet, I haven't mixed anything, a wet I'm sorry, I'm losing train of thought. I don't feel comfortable putting a wet paper towel in the trash can. I let that thing dry out first, and then put it in there, because I don't want it sitting in there baking, and you know, who wants to burn their house down because they wanted to airbrush a dang model. So here we go, the whole body and everything. I'm going to do a little bit. No, that's good enough. Okay, just feel weird. I'm being goofy this morning. All right. Unfortunately, I am clean out of retarder, and I have some of this that I'm not going to use yet. Not on a kit. I'll use that on something I'm testing. I'm not going to use that on a whole bunch of parts. So I am going to just stick with the thinner. Still feels a little bit thick. I do not ever have a formula for my thinning. I know there's people out there that can say I do exactly this, um, and that's awesome. But I paint, I brush paint out of my same paint bottles, and while they're open while I'm painting, which I know is wrong, but while they're open while I'm painting, I am they're drying out on me too. So I mix it down until it runs kind of quick down the. I'm feeling like I got something going on with my air in this. I'm going to pull this apart so it doesn't feel like I'm getting all my air. Yeah, I was checking it earlier. I'm at 100%, and I'm not getting diddly here. So, I want to see why. I wonder if this was loose on there. Something just didn't feel right. See what that does. Huh. And see, I'm not getting anything. What that means is, let me go get my. I might have a little clog in here somewhere. It felt kind of weird. All right. I got air now. I took the air valve apart, cleaned it. I must have sucked some schmutz up or something. So let's crank this air up. I'm going to try this again. That's the first time I ever did this with high like that, just to put down my base coat and then lower it down to the 21 again. And give it my top coat. Well, that's spraying a lot nicer than it was. There we go. All right, and you know what? I'm going to try one more spoon. I don't know if I want to blow that hard. Eh. It was something I was trying, and it doesn't matter. So let's give this spoon a shot. See if there's any difference. Absolutely no difference whatsoever. So we're just going to stay with what I've always done. What do we start with? What if we start with the most pain in the butt part right off the bat? I glued all this together because I wanted these to be solid as a rock. And I was afraid if I had any paint in there before I glued it, it might migrate underneath and not let the plastic actually melt together the way it should. So now I just got to fight all that stuff in the way. So we'll just straight over the top. and then we'll just work our way in there, and we'll get it all. One way or another, it'll get painted. Good thing it wasn't a gloss. If it was a gloss black or something like that, I wouldn't have done this. That's running so much nicer. And I'm sorry, when I went over to get pieces parts, I hit pause on the record, and then I forgot to hit pause or record again. And thankfully, Terry came in. She's doing laundry next door. And when I looked, I realized that I wasn't recording. Because I kind of wanted you to see what I did, which was nothing. I just took it apart like a final cleaning, but I pulled the air valve out too. I don't know if it was the air valve, if it was me, if there was a little schmutz somewhere else. Not really that sure. So now I'm just trying to get I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why I thought it would have been a good idea to glue all that before I painted it. We'll get it. And you know what? In the long run, with the airbrush, I can get the paint down there, especially like I said, semi-gloss. We can cover. We just want to make sure that it's a good, like in here, in those back corners. The 0.2 almost would have been a better choice, but I got the body and everything else that I'm painting. But if I keep that as a handle and do underneath all this, this might be fun. I'm hardly pulling that brush out. You can see I'm barely painting anything and just doing swirlies to get it around in there. This is not the perfect way to paint, but it's going to work for this application today. And again, once this is done and all painted, I will know that I have very good coverage on the glue, and that's most important. The rest of it, again, I can Hollywood. We'll make it look good. I love working with Tamiya paints too. I guess it's just because I've been doing it for so long that I kind of know what to expect. That's going to be tough to get up in there. No, it wasn't. If I shoot right through here, right through there, that's what I've been doing anyhow. Same thing with the back of it. Nice. Just keep spraying it all over the place, and sooner or later it'll fill in all holes. I was no way I would do this if I was doing a gloss paint, because I know I would have goobered it up. That looks all right. Let's come back to the front. This is up front's a lot easier than the back was, that's for sure. I'm running a little low on paint here. I wasn't sure if this was going to spray well, so I didn't fill that cup all the way up. What a fun kit. I'm really enjoying this old timer, man. It's a good kit. I haven't really, other than the blower and blower belt, and I'll talk about that when I get there. I haven't had any problems. And the blower and blower belt was a problem that I created for myself. So I can't even hold that against the kit. All right. I'll come up, we'll make a cut line right here. We'll let that dry a little while. Hanging off the edge. I got some cups over here to set that on. I got a whole bunch of little parts to do. So if you want to fast forward through this, the body I'm going to do after I get these all painted. And yeah, I know where that alligator clip is. There's not going to be any paint there, but I'm all right. I can paint that with a brush and semi-gloss. Semi-gloss is very forgiving. And anyhow, the inside of the radiator, now I looked at the directions, and it says to flip this thing around backwards. So I got to make sure the inside of this really has a good coat of paint on it. Because I think that flips around backwards, so you have room for the blower belt. This car is going to be a whole lot of black. That's why I was doing the as I call it, Batman red on the interior. Just to give it something different. Because I was also thinking about doing a black interior too. And like I'm doing those being lazy. I'm not even in the film. I'm sorry. But I was thinking about doing the whole interior and everything black. But I think if I did, it would have just, everything would have got lost. But it would have been cool because I was going to call it the Black Widow and then paint a diamond on the trunk hood. But I didn't. I wanted a red. And I still might do the diamond on the trunk hood after everything's said and done. If I do, what I'll do is I'll spray that. I'll spray it red. Oh yeah, I'll spray it flat aluminum first over the black, and then leave that dry, which I'll do a very, very light coat just to brighten up that black. And then I'll paint that red right over that and get the, that looks okay. And then get the tape out of the way. I think would look cool. With no, this is a steering column. With no other markings on the car at all. And what I'm doing here is this is drying as it's hitting. So for these parts, I'm not worried about doing a scratch coat and then a hit coat. I just want to get them covered. We'll get back. I want to get a light coat over top of the body here next. That's why I just want to get these out of the way. And then I'll get a dust coat on the body, or a tack coat. And we'll go back to that frame, hit the frame. By the time the frame's done, the tack coat will be done on the body, and we can go to town. It's a very cool kit. Very fun, very easy. Got some detail in it. Not a huge amount by any means, but it's got some decent detail. And again, you might be saying, hey, what about primer? I don't use it with the Tamiya paints. I used Tamiya's primer. I've used Revell's. I've used Rust-Oleum. I've used Vallejo. And it seems like every time I use primer, kind of with some kind of drama going on with my paint. So I quit using it, and I started using that tack coat, the real light coat on first, and then coming over that with the wet coats. Yeah, I just made a hell of a mess here. And that's worked out great for me. Unless you throw your chassis on the ground. We're good. I'm going to have to do some cleaning up at the end of the day here. I bumped it and shot that thing across the room. So, but yeah, that's why I don't prime. Like I said, I've just had way too many problems with it. There's our spoon. Looks good. So, let me move this down just a smidge. So I'm in the middle of the dang model. And let's give this a shot here. I want to do the inside, and I am like 1.5 miles away for this, but it'll be all right. Just got to keep on moving. Hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm just shooting the columns and the roof with black just to get things rolling inside there. And now I'm going to do the same thing to these fenders. Give them a very light coat behind that radiator. Hit it while I can't see it. Now we're going to start getting a little bit serious here. I should probably, this thing is a pain in the butt to hold. Probably do the inside of these fenders too. While I'm at it. In fact, look what I just did. How? It'll sand out. My airbrush, or my seriner, is telling me to move it back onto the table. I can hear it vibrating a little bit. All right. With this kind of stuff, usually what I do is around the windows really light. You can see here the vent windows are gone. I talked about that in my last video. I think they look better without it. And the other thing I'm not going to do is put that center column in there. I think it'll look way better without it. Nooks and crannies. And again, I knew I was going to have that because the way I'm building this thing with the fenders already on. I got a little spatter there. And the headlights on. So I'm going to be fighting that anyhow. But that's okay. I would rather have that headlights on there and have to figure out how to get the paint around them. Just every angle you could think of. Than have a crappy glue joint in there. I have no air. I think yeah. I had this thing torn apart, twisted it around too many times. And again, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't know it was going to be semi-gloss black, because semi-gloss black will hide so many mistakes. Like all those little speckles there for me turning this thing on and off while I'm over top of the paint. That would not fly. This is a very light coat. Heavier than what I was doing before. But it's still a very light coat. Airbrush is spraying so nice now. And again, every problem I have is one that I've made for myself. With this build. It seems like with every build. It's every one. I come up with some other way to mess up. Now I'm just making sure I got a good coat everywhere. I just blasted that front again, trying to get in there. So let's put this on the dryer for a few. Out the way. I'm going to grab this chassis again, which I think is looking good. It's had enough time to dry where I can grab it on the sides here and start doing this part. And just get a good coat on everything. We can go to town here now. This is fun. This is a whole lot of fun. Now that probably isn't going to show there at all, like the back. But I want to make sure I got paint in it anyhow. You see I'm going pretty heavy now. Oh. Uh-oh. Thought I saw a light spot right there. Right there. Are we looking on the top? That's looking real good. Everything's looking great. Yeah, that's right. I did see that too. I'm going to spray my hand here. There we go. All right. Should I set this down? How about if I set this down? We're going to put this on the table behind me. Guarantee an hour and a half from now, I'll be looking all over for that. Hit this spoon again. I like to do the same amount of coats on my test spoons as I do on my finals. Now let's look at my little parts here. See what I'm going to need to touch up on. Stuff like this would have been a lot better to do with the 0.2 millimeter. I wouldn't be blowing so much paint. But I already have this mixed. So, or I already have the 0.3 dirty. So we'll go with it. That looks good. Everything else looks pretty good, except for that little light spot on the radiator. Man, I'm looking at this body right now, and it's looking pretty cool. Just the way it is. I should have tried to go smoother with it. Let me set that there in case I got to set my hand down. How much paint have I got? I'm going to add some paint to this thing. All right. Let's get a coat of paint on this bad boy. Again, I'm going to start on the interior. We're going to lay some paint down. Look at what I just did there. Again, I wouldn't be messing around like this if it wasn't that it was semi-gloss. All right, let's see what we can do here. Nice. Coming back right there, I missed a bunch. I'm happy with that. Ah, did you see what I just did? That'll have to be sanded out. Stinking fingers. I'm going to say that headlight's pretty good. It's funny how you go over these things 10 times and still find stuff like right there that you know is going to be able to be seen that you missed. All right, let's get on this. I want to go this way with this now. Not too bad. I can see a spot right here I'm going to come in at, come out. And in the back here, I'm trying to keep it in frame. Let's set that down for a minute. I'm going to pause you. We'll come back. I'm going to let that dry. I want to put one more coat on there. All right, I'm unpausing you because I got to move this out of the way because I do it every time. I forget one part. And I got to paint underneath here. So we're going to be very gentle here with this. I don't want that getting all over that red in there. I can open it up a bit here. Now, if you're looking for me to be a professional airbrush guy, you're looking at the wrong person. I'm sure by right now you've already figured that out on your own. But you've all seen what I can get out of it. And again, I'm saying that that's all on gallery, not me. That's the airbrushes. All right, let's get over this. I'll paint my hand as I'm going. That little bird's told me that I think I've been recording for quite a while right now. And now, see, I got it good underneath and on top. We're okay. Set that down. How are we looking with this body? I'm still pretty stinking wet here. So I'm going to stop this and I'll bring it back in a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. All right, it's been 10 minutes. And I've literally just watched paint dry. So I didn't mix up too much. Wasn't sure. Take this off of here. See if I can do this time without putting a big finger scratch in there. Yeah, you can see that's going to need to be worked on, but what are you going to do? Now I'm more worried about this top. The sides look pretty decent, but this top isn't. So we're going to come back. We're going to hit these headlights again. Do the fenders. Nice wet coat on the fenders. Looking at the tops of them this time instead of the sides. And then I'll come back to that. All right, now let's do these runners. And I'm going to go this way again with this. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to try harder. Overlap 50%. This will give us a nice, even, finished coat. I got a good paint line going down here. I can see two of them right there I want to get rid of. Now, come back. We'll get the bottom of this. Like that. Get this fender's top. Make sure that looks good on the top. Make sure that looks good on the top. And now let's finish this bad boy off. That looks nice. Real nice. I'm really happy so far. Even though I had a little problems with this morning, getting started. I think that might have been just something got sucked up through the airline. I can see a line there. Got sucked up through the airline somehow. Probably me switching back and forth from all the different brushes, and I don't have a water collector filter on this, so I can't say anything other than, yeah, that was my fault. Because if I had that on there, it would have stopped that. Now I'm just trying to get in these fenders where you're never going to see anyhow. But I don't know. There we go. I'll see how much smoother that looks. Go this way, go this way, go, and you get a nice coat on there. I really don't want to polish this because I don't want to get the gloss up any, but I can see I got some schmutz on there, just dust. But I'm not going to do any more coats on there. I think I got a good even coat everywhere. Even around that, I know I can see something right here. So I'm going to start spraying, pointing that way, because I can see around this side of this headlight. And I'm going to come in, and I got it. All right. Let's walk. Oh, look. They got a voltage regulator in there. Cool. Let's walk away from this. These two parts here, I was thinking about doing them in flat aluminum. That's why they're not on there. All right. For everybody that stuck around, I want to thank you very much. I hope you got something out of there. I had a blast doing it. I love working with the airbrushes, and it was just a whole lot of fun going there. I want to thank Gallery again for everything because, geez, oh Pete, without them, I would still be brush painting, to be honest with you. I want to remind everybody that we are doing our first annual breast cancer awareness 24-hour group build, October 11th, 2025, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. It'll run in conjunction with Bob's Model Works Chris Cortell Annual Cancer Awareness Group Build, which runs from October 1st to October 31st. A link is in the description for that one, so check that out too and sign up for his. Also in the description is a link to the GoFundMe page I set up for the American Cancer Society. We're going to take donations the whole time we're building, and you can start now if you want. But all the proceeds are going to the American Cancer Society, so any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank all our veterans, first responders, and active duty men and women. Without you, we couldn't be doing this at all. And don't forget about Jason, Mike, and Bruce every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time with Automotive Model Car Livecast. The most fun I have on a Thursday night. Trust me, I'm filming this on a Thursday night, and I can't wait to get up there and watch their stuff. So with that, again, thank you very much. I promise the next one will be a whole lot smoother than this. But I really wanted to put that out because I did cover just about everything I do. But with that, I want to thank you very much. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow.